This is the 2014 Missouri Athletic Club Men's Hermann Trophy Semifinalist announcement exclusively on NSCAA TV. And it comes to you right here, right now. Let's go. And Patrick Mullins, the back-to-back winner of the Mac Hermann Trophy, has moved on to the New England Revolution. Of course, 17 goals his junior year led Maryland to the national championship game. The next year, back-to-back winners. He can't win it this year, though, folks, as we will have a new men's winner for the Mac Hermann Trophy, and we welcome you in to the Continental Tire Studios. Hello, everybody. I'm Dean Linke, proud to be the voice of the NSCAA, and my favorite time of the year as we get down to the Elite Eight and Final Four for men and women, respectively, and, of course, the 16-person list for the Mac Hermann watch list. First, for the men, let's take a look at what's coming up on this special show. We will be joined by the 2005 Mac Hermann winner and national champion Jason Gary from Maryland, Kyle Straub, our very special NSCAA TV analyst. Mr. Soccer will break down the entire list. We'll take a look at the Elite Eight for men's soccer, the NCAA leaders, including some folks that didn't make this list. And of course, why we're all here is to break down the 2014 Mac Hermann semifinalists. And of course, we couldn't do any of these shows without the great support of Continental Tire. Travis Roffler and the entire gang up in Fort Mill, South Carolina, proud to be the presenting sponsor of everything on NSCAA TV. And we showed you already a young man from Louisiana winning it back-to-back years. Jason Gary, also from Louisiana, also went to Maryland and also won the Mac Hermann Trophy. He is still the all-time leader at Maryland with 60 goals and 140 points. Even Mr. Mullins could not catch Mr. Gary. And he joins me now in the Continental Tire Studios. And Jason, I know you love this time of the year as well because you get to reflect on how special 2005 was when you won the Mac Hermann Trophy.
Yeah, Dean, it truly was a great year. You know, tying everything together, we were able to win the national championship with Maryland. But then the Mac Hermann Trophy, getting that award, you know, being listed along some of the great players in college soccer history was truly an honor for me. And I really think it was a team award. Some of the guys on that team that you know, that a lot of people in soccer know, they're playing for the World Cup team and things like that. It was just truly an honor for me to be able to represent the University of Maryland in winning that award.
Well, one of the great things, Jason, I love hearing you talk about is now every time you are introduced, no matter if it's in your professional job or anything related to soccer, they always say Mac Hermann Trophy winner. What's that mean?
It's just a tremendous honor. I mean, you look at all the players that came through that have won that award, some of the most famous players in U.S. soccer history, and, you know, the Mac Hermann Trophy, you know, the St. Louis Athletic Club does such a great job in putting on that event every year and really recognizing college soccer and some of the great players that have graced the field in college soccer. And going to St. Louis and being part of that whole experience was truly one of those, you know, top 2 or 3 moments in my life that I'll always remember.
Well, that's well said. Of course, the Missouri Athletic Club, I want to thank Jim Wilson and everybody with the MAC for this special ceremony they put on. It'll be January 9th. They will narrow down this list of 16 that we'll show you after the break as we spend some time with Jason Gary talking about the Elite Eight. And then January 9th will be the announcement in St. Louis with the winner. One more question on that. When you're at the event, you get your name called up. What does that mean, particularly when you're only like 21 years old?
It was a surreal experience. I mean, coming off of winning the national championship with Maryland, you know, just less than a month earlier, graduating from college, all these things kind of happened at the same time. It was just a great experience, and there's a pretty cool that a lot of the winners remember. I think it's on the 4th floor of the Missouri Athletic Club. There's a big dining room where all the pictures of past winners are put up on the wall, and it was a pretty cool experience actually being able to go back a couple years ago when Patrick Mullins won it the first time, and to see a picture on the wall was a great experience for me, and just happy for all the guys and women that have been able to win it. It's truly a special experience.
Of course, Patrick Mullins now playing for the New England Revolution, and they will play in the MLS Cup as we wish him all the best. All right, real quickly, let's talk a little bit about the Elite Eight here. As in a couple weeks, all the Final Four will be in Cary for the College Cup. And, of course, this time around, Maryland won't be there. Sorry about that, as they were upset by UMBC, who's still in it. UMBC beats Maryland, beats Louisville. Now they'll face Elmar Bolovich, the former North Carolina coach, in the Elite Eight.
Yeah, and you got to love these matchups. This is what college sports is all about. UMBC going to Maryland, beating the Terps on their home field, you know, denying Maryland getting into the Sweet 16, and then going on the road to Louisville and winning a huge game there. Great for UMBC to kind of push that program up. up. They really are the giant killers in this. And when you get to this stage of the tournament with 8 teams left, really anyone can win it.
All right, Virginia also with a big win, knocking off the reigning champs Notre Dame. They'll face Georgetown. Brian Weiss, what a job he's done there, knocking off their rivals from Syracuse. So Georgetown and Virginia.
Yeah, it's going to be a great matchup. And when you talk about UVA, they've just been around these situations so many times over the year. Coach Gelnovich really has those guys in the mindset of they can win any game. And with their defense, haven't scored a ton of goals this year, but with their defensive prowess, they can beat anybody. And they're really a tough out in the NCAA tournament.
Now on the other side, Damon Rensing, the head coach at Michigan State, back-to-back Elite Eights, the Spartan program, a program on the rise. They have done great things in East Lansing. They will host Providence, a game that perhaps they could win to make it to the Final Four. But then they will have to face the winner of UCLA and UNC, 2 great programs. You were here to start the season, predicted UCLA would be there, and now North Carolina's starting to click.
Yeah, I mean, just a great matchup of 2 of the top programs in college soccer. You know, a tough job for UNC going out to LA to play UCLA, and UCLA having one of the best players in the country. Both teams having 2 of the best players in the country with Andy Craven at UNC and Leo Stoltz at UCLA. That's just going to be a fantastic matchup, and I think that whoever wins that matchup is going to be on pace for a national championship.
All right, that's a perfect tee-up for the players that are on the Mack Hermann Trophy list that are still playing. And you see there's 5 of them there. You just mentioned Andy Craven and Leo Stoltz. That should be fantastic. As we tease you a little bit, Kyle Straub will be here to give you a little bit more information. Jay Chapman, really the engine in the middle for the Michigan State Spartans. Fabian Herbers, another great player at Creighton over the years. Creighton has had some fantastic Blue Jays there as well. And, of course, Georgetown also represented.
Yeah, and I think Leo Stoltz, for me, the guy at UCLA, I mean, he really runs the whole midfield of one of the top teams in the country, and he's had such great seasons leading up to this. I think he's the front runner, along with Andy Craven, to win the Mack Hermann Trophy this year.
There you go. Good stuff from Jason Gary. Let's take a look at the past winners since 2000. Quite a few ACC players. Of course, you see Jason Gary from Maryland, and then, of course, Patrick Mullins the last couple years, but a few talented players from Akron in there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. See Darlington Nagbe on that list, a guy who's had great seasons out there in Portland, playing for the Timbers. Teal Bunbury, who's still playing right now for the New England Revolution, scored a great goal about a week ago in the playoffs. Akron had a great run, a lot of players being mentioned in the Mack Hermann Trophy watch list, and a few winning the award. Great program they built there in Akron.
An impressive list, which also includes my main man, Jason Gary. And Jason, we bring you back for a final comment. College soccer has meant so much to you. Talk about what it meant, both on the field and off the field.
It really was just a truly great experience, and the combination of getting a great education and being able to play at a high level in college soccer was just something that meant the world to me. And it's great to see so many other players get a chance to do the same thing. And this Mack Hermann Trophy was just a great ending to my college career. It really felt like the culmination of a good career as far as, you know, the soccer side of things and being on a great team with a great group of guys, and really felt like that award, you know, though it was an individual award, it was certainly a team award for the success we had at Maryland over those years.
Well done. He won the Mack Hermann in 2005 as well as the national championship. Always a pleasure hanging out with Jason Gary. When we come back, Kyle Straub will be here to break down the 16-man list for the 2014 Mack Hermann Trophy. Andy Craven from the University of North Carolina. They face UCLA. He is on the list. What a great senior season he is having, as this is the 2014 Missouri Athletic Club semifinalists for the Mack Hermann Trophy right here on NSCAA TV.
The NSCAA convention to me is probably the best place to get any sort of education of a wide variety that you can go in the world.
Oh, I'm excited. I'm ready to go on.
Super excited.
Pretty excited.
Oh, super excited, yes. Now I'm excited to just be a part of it and experience it all, take it all in.
You watch the match live. You road trip to the away games. You rise and fall with every run. Above all, you live your love of the game. Whatever you do, get there with Continental Tires and improve your grip with extreme contact traction.
Continental Tire, for what you do.
Leo Stoltz, the fantastic midfielder from UCLA, scored a big goal against UC Santa Barbara as part of the NSCAA TV college soccer special. A lot of people think he could win it, and perhaps Jorge Salcedo and the UCLA Bruins could win the national championship. As we bring you the 2014 Missouri Athletic Club semifinalist announcements, I'm now joined by Kyle Straub, our resident expert on all things college soccer. And Kyle, first off, Jason Gary was here. He won it in 2005. You've done some work with him on air as well. Great soccer player, great person.
Great insight into the game, and he's really a lot of fun to play with, especially having played in Maryland. You know, a lot of the games I do are in this triangle area, so he knows a lot about the teams. I've seen him play. I've heard about him, so it's a lot of fun. I'm glad he could be a part of this today. All
right, before we give you the 16-man semifinalist award list, we want to take a look at who is actually leading NCAA college soccer. A lot of times, the folks that have all the goals don't necessarily make the final list. It's the total package. As you see some key players there that we may not see on the list. One of those, Andy Bevan, had a great year at West Virginia, but you also see some players on the list like Andy Craven, like Shelton as well. Some very good players, and also Robert Christo.
Yeah, you know, it's always tough because whenever you put a list together of the best players or the best teams, there's always going to be people that are left off that they deserve to be on there, but you have to make the cut somewhere. And that's why you see some of the players on there, some of the players aren't going to be on there.
Those are the points leaders. Take a look now at the goals leaders. And, of course, Mr. Brett from Robert Morris, he will not be on this final list, but he's had a fantastic season. But we went to that first break talking about Andy Craven at UNC. What a year he's had.
What a fantastic season Andy Craven has had. And it's been such a big boost to a North Carolina team who defensively, the last 4 or 5 years has been one of the best in the country. Last year couldn't score a lot. Now all of a sudden they're one of the best offensive teams with him back in the lineup.
We saw Mr. Najim from Akron. We also saw Andy Bevan. Timmy Mulgrew was also on the package put together by Rob Kehoe. And take a look now at the assist leaders. This is so important. Of course, the man from Oregon State, Mr. Shelton, as well as Connor Hallisey from Cal, they will be on the final list. They've had great years dishing the ball.
It's not always who puts it in the back of the net, but who can help get the guy to put it in the back of the net. These guys have done a great job for their team facilitating and helping them score.
You'll see also Lucas Denise for Ernie Yarbrough's Stetson team in the top 10 assist leader. And, of course, goalkeepers don't always get the love, but you see Alex Bono from Syracuse. What an incredible year he had.
Yeah, you know, the goalkeepers, if you give up the goal, you're always the GOAT. You don't get the praise most of the time, but Alex Bono has had a fantastic year in goal for Syracuse. As you see the rest of the list there, with just phenomenal goal play from all of these guys.
Connor Sparrow still playing for Elmar Bolovich and Creighton, and what a great year Tyler Miller has had at Northwestern under Tim Lenahan. Of course, Thomas Gomez also still in play at Georgetown for Coach Brian Weiss. As those are your leaders statistically for the NCAA, as we welcome back Kyle Straub here. And Kyle, now it's the time to get to what everybody's been waiting for, the Final 16. A little different this year from the Missouri Athletic Club. They also had a fan vote in for an additional player. We'll get to him in a second, but we'll start with goalkeepers and defenders. And, of course, Alex Bonos. We rolled a video of this young man. What an incredible year he's had in goal at Syracuse.
12 shutouts on the season, has given up just 12 goals all year long. .49 goals against average. That's the second best in the country. We just had that graphic up. For a career, .93 goals against average, which is second in Syracuse history, and he helped them be one of the best defensive teams this year.
Joseph Greenspan, we saw him a couple years ago with the game winner in overtime against Army. As you'll see it right here, he is an incredible defender, big, tall, and strong.
Big and tall is exactly right. He stands at 6'6", 210 pounds, was the first team selection for the Patriot League, as well as the Defensive Player of the Year this year. The team gave up 14 goals in just 20 seasons, and he was one of the big reasons why.
One of the great goals we've seen of all time on NSCA TV. And Joshua Yarl, the sophomore defender, holding it together for the Georgetown Hoyas.
One of 4 sophomore that were named to this list that you'll see as we go through it. The Big East Defender of the Year, led a defense that was ranked in 5th in the NCAA in the goals against average. They gave up just .58. Last year as a freshman was even named to Top Drawers Soccer Top 11 freshman.
All right, one of the great things they did this year is fans had an opportunity to vote through lockerdome.com, as done through the Missouri Athletic Club. And Lucas Bolden from the University of South Florida, as we roll to the midfielders here now, he gets the vote in, and what a special treat for him from Brazil.
Yeah, the Brazilian, and especially because he comes off a year where he didn't get to play last year, missed it due to an injury, scored 2 goals in a double overtime win over Akron. They've got a lot of players that have come through that program, very strong program. Was also a first-team All-American in the Athletic Conference this year. Team high in goals and assists, 5 goals, 9 assists for the young man.
Jay Chapman, Michigan State, all Big Ten, first team. Really the maestro in the middle for Michigan State.
Last year was a second-team NSC All-Region selection. Steps up this year, wins Big Ten Midfielder of the Year, puts 4 goals and 4 assists on the board for Michigan State.
Patrick Holdan won a national championship last year for Notre Dame. Virginia knocks them off, but Holdan, a special player.
5 game-winning goals. They're the ACC champs this year, and he led them with 9 goals on the season. Was expected to be a leader offensively, had the most goals and the most assists of any returning player for the defending national titles, and he obviously didn't disappoint this year.
All right, up next, Leo Stolz. We do expect he will be in St. Louis on January 9th. We think he's going to be in the final 3. You never know, Kyle, but what a great year for this young man.
Yeah, Leo Stolz, the only returning member that was on the list from last year. The UCLA-North Carolina matchup, a rematch from early in the season, and having him and Andy Craven on there, that's going to be a fun game to watch. 9 goals, 4 assists for Stolz, both the most on the team. Last year was a first-team All-American, Pac-12 Player of the Year from Germany. Had another strong year. Did not disappoint for the Bruins.
All right, at Indiana, Tommy Thompson, after 1 year, leaves. He's now with San Jose. In steps his brother, Tanner Thompson, and what a fantastic sophomore campaign.
Great second year for Thompson, first on the team in goals with 6 on the year, added in 3 assists, and just the second year leading the team in both goals and points, helped Indiana to a 12-5-5 record this year.
All right, those are the midfielders on this year's 2014 Missouri Athletic Club semifinalist announcement. Now let's take a look at the forwards, and we've shown him already right here in Chapel Hill. Andy Craven, the transfer from the College of Charleston. He's healthy, and he's putting the ball in the back of the net.
14 goals this year for Andy Craven. Team high, conference high. May not be done as he's still alive. North Carolina taking on UCLA. 8 game-winning goals for Craven, the most in the country. Was named the National Player of the Week 3 different times for the Tar Heels.
Pac-12's not been easy this year with UCLA, including California, and the senior Connor Hallisey had a great senior campaign.
3rd most assists in the country for the California Golden Bears with 11. Added 8 goals and was a Pac-12 all-first team, named first team Player of the Week twice for the Bears this year.
Another German now playing for Elmar Bolovich, Fabian Herbers at Creighton, just a sophomore.
Fabian Herbert, one of those 4 sophomore that we mentioned, having a great season. 10 goals, 8 assists, 4 game winners. The goals are the most on the team, the assists second on the team. 2014 Big East Player of the Year. Helped lead Creighton to a Big East championship.
Talk about Cameron Iwasa and Robert Christo from UC Irvine and St. Louis, respectively.
Iwasa from UC Irvine, 6 goals, 6 assists. The assists were the most on the team. Has been an impact player since his freshman year. Assisted on the game-winning goal in OT versus Stanford. Christo on the other side from St. Louis, the A10 Offensive Player of the Year. Past 2 years was 3rd team All-American. This year, 2nd in the NCAA with 14 goals, has led this team in points the last 2 years.
It'd be a short drive for him if he can make the final 3 for the announcement on January 9th of the 2014 Mac Hermann Trophy winner for the men. Almost done here as well. Jordan Morris, you mentioned Stanford. He's on the list.
The Pac-12 champs in Stanford. As a freshman, he led all conference in goals, assists, and points. Just added to that with 6 assists, which was first on the team this year. Played as a member of the US U20 national team, and this year was an all Pac-12 first team selection.
Another great run for UNC Charlotte, of course, led by Kyle Parker.
Parker out in Charlotte, the Conference USA champs, 9 goals to lead that team. Has led them the last 2 years in goals and has helped them to back-to-back conference titles and back-to-back NCAA berths, a national rank this year.
losing to North Carolina, their rivals from just down the road in Chapel Hill. And finally on the list, Mr. Shelton has had a great year as senior campaign at Oregon State.
Maybe last on our list, but not last in the list. Pac-12 Player of the Year, second in the country in assists with 12 on the year. Also had double-digit in goals with 10. Has been a contributor from day one. And the impressive thing with him is every year, Dean, he's gotten better and better.
All right, that is your 16-man list here as part of the Missouri Athletic Club semifinalist announcement. And, of course, I love the variety this year. And it's not just, as you said to start, it's not just about who scores the most goals or who has the most assists, but it seems to be players that really helping their team advance.
Impact players is what the word I like to use. It's hard to look at stats and say, well, a defender or a goalkeeper is the best person on the team or in the country. But they really are. They're still a part of the team. They have a huge role, and the people that we have on this list today have impacted their team.
Well said. We're going to take a break, come back, wrap it up. We'll show you the 16-man list one more time as you're watching the Missouri Athletic Club semifinalist announcements right here on NSCAA TV. Don't go away, everybody.
You watch the match live. You road trip to the away games. You rise and fall with every run. Above all, you live your love of the game. Whatever you do, get there with Continental Tires and improve your grip with extreme contact traction.
Continental Tire for what you do.
The NSCAA convention to me is probably the best place to get any sort of education of a wide variety that you can go in the world.
Oh, I'm excited. I'm ready to go on.
Super excited.
Pretty excited.
Oh, super excited, yes. Now I'm excited to just be a part of it and experience it all, take it all in.
Alex Bono, the only goalkeeper on both the men's and women's MAC semifinalists for the MAC Hermann Trophy list. What a great year he had, Alex Bono, as we welcome you back into the Continental Tire Studios. Dean Linke along with Kyle Straub. And Kyle, we're going to show you one more time the 16-man watch list here on the semifinalist announcement here today, beginning with goalkeepers and defenders. We just showed Bono. Of course, the man from Navy had a great year.
He really did. And Navy is a school that you don't consider one of the powerhouses in college soccer. So for him to be able to get the recognition and get on this list, I think is a great accomplishment for him.
And the midfielders as well. And, of course, we keep talking about Leo Stoles.
Stoles is just phenomenal. Carried UCLA last year, again this year. That matchup with North Carolina, I am so excited to see. I think it's going to be a great one.
And, of course, forwards, usually getting it done. Patrick Mullins was a forward. He won it the last couple years. Some great forwards on the list again.
Some great forwards on there. Kerry Shelton really stands out to me. Those 12 assists, and you're able to score double-digit goals with 10 on the year for him out in Oregon State. Really, really good year for Shelton.
All right, that is your 16-man list. Of course, we've got more excitement coming on NSCAA TV. Is on Saturday, December 13th, we will have the high school girls All-America game. Eric Stratman getting it done. It'll be fantastic. The best players from all around the country at Cardinal Gibbons High School, right in the middle of the Men's College Cup at Cary. And then at 3 o'clock, it'll be the high school boys All-America game. That is Saturday, December 13th. And, of course, we'll be right back here at the Continental Tire Studios as well for the big announcement of all the NSCAA College Soccer and High School Coaches Awards. We'll unveil it right here on NSCAA TV, and that will be December 16th at 1 p.m. Thanks to the great work at Steve Veal at NSCAA and his entire All-America committee, as well as his Coaches Awards committee. Can't wait for that. And speaking of another big show, we'll be at the 2015 NSCAA convention in Philadelphia, back-to-back years, and we'll be bringing you all kinds of coverage as well on NSCAA TV. Be sure to check out that. And if you haven't registered yet, please register to get to the 2015 NSCAA convention. It should be fantastic. So many people to thank. As always, we could not get it done without the great SIDs and video departments from all these wonderful colleges. We thank each and every one of you, Jason Gary and Kyle Straub. And of course, how about the wonderful people involved with our awards committee? Steve Veal, one of the all-time greats, Blake Hornbuckle, Joel Tyson, Ralph Polson, Aaron DeMarco as well, and of course Jim Wilson at the Missouri Athletic Club along with Greg Beekman. Fantastic. And then of course our folks out in Kansas City as well as our production staff. I want to especially thank Kathleen Hermesh for doing a great job on the graphics, as well as the help from Eric Dodd as well, and then Kyle Lang, Taylor Hoggard, and everybody at UNC New Media. I'm Dean Linke. To learn more about the NSCAA, visit nsca.com, and to learn more about the Missouri Athletic Club and the 2014 Mac Hermann Award, I encourage you to go to www.machermantrophy.lockerdome.com. And we look forward to seeing everybody on January 9th for the announcement of the 2014 Men's and Women's Mac Hermann Trophy winners. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time right here on NSCAA TV.